It is day 12 of Sean Diddy Combs' trial. Law and Crime Network host and correspondent Anjanette Levy will join us on Diddy's alleged power games and violence. But first, CB Cotton is live outside the Manhattan courthouse with the very latest from there. CB, what's the update from the courtroom?
Hey, Sandra, great to be with you. So one of Diddy's former assistants was granted immunity to testify. We are expecting him on the stand later today. Right now, though, jurors are hearing from a forensic psychologist who could be key to the prosecutor's case as they try to prove to jurors that Diddy victimized his ex-girlfriend Cassie Ventura and other women. Dr. Dawn Hughes testified that she hasn't seen any details from the court, but instead was hired to share general concepts. She said a perpetrator has multiple methods to abuse and make someone feel trapped. She said there is love in abusive relationships, and it often takes months or years for victims to speak out. Legal experts say prosecutors are using this testimony to explain why Cassie stayed.
She will talk about these abusive relationships, how the abuser controls and manipulates their victims, and how the victims will respond and will go back.
Other witnesses have shared specifically how Diddy used his words or his weapons to create fear in those around him. A special agent wrapped up his testimony today. He said he led the March 2024 raid on Diddy's Miami mansion. He said these AR-15 parts with defaced serial numbers were found inside, along with lingerie, high heels, baby oil, and sex toys. The same sort of items used by Diddy and his ex-girlfriend R&B singer Cassie Ventura, according to a male exotic dancer nicknamed the Punisher. He testified that he was hired and paid thousands by the couple to create, quote, sexy scenes. He spoke out about how Diddy directed the scenes and gave Cassie cues. But on cross-examination, he admitted Cassie's involvement seemed consensual. Cassie's mother, Regina Ventura, also took to the stand. She said in December 2011, she learned her daughter was being abused. She said she took these photos of her daughter's injuries to, quote, memorialize it. And Sandra, Diddy has pleaded not guilty to all these charges.
All right,
back to you.
CB Cotton with the very latest from that courthouse. Thank you very much. Trace.
And for more, let's bring in Anjanette Levy, correspondent and host for the Law and Crime Network. Anjanette, great to have you on. I mean, I've been watching this trial, following it. I get all of the sexual abuse testimony. It's at the very center of the case. What do you make of the information and the testimony about these rap rivalries between Sean Combs and people like Suge Knight? What's the hope there?
I think they're trying to point out, Trace, and thanks for having me, that Sean Combs is somebody who was a violent individual and that he had a business, the Bad Boy record business, and all these other businesses that were a part of his enterprise. And Suge Knight was a business rival of his. We know about the East Coast, West Coast rivalry that was really hot back in the 1990s. And there was testimony from both Cassie Ventura and the assistant to Sean Combs about this incident at Mel's Diner where Sean Combs got word that Suge Knight was there and he grabbed guns and they took off in a car to go confront Suge Knight. So I think they're trying to show that this is somebody who carried weapons, was comfortable carrying weapons, and carried out threats and was willing to possibly use violence to get his way.
I want to talk about this rapper, Scott Mescudi, right? The rapper known as Kid Cudi, who briefly dated Cassie Ventura. Of course, Cassie is the longtime girlfriend of P. Diddy. She's at the center of this case as well. Her email, Cassie sent to her mom. This is Cassie, her mom. She says, quote, "The threats have been made toward me by Sean Puffy Combs and that he is going to release 2 explicit sex tapes of me. One on Christmas Day, maybe before or right after, and another one sometime before that. He has also said that he will be having someone hurt me and Scott Mescudi physically. He made a point that it wouldn't be by his hands. He actually said he'd be out of the country when it happened." Where are they going with this, Anjanette?
Well, this is really key because in 2012, Kid Cudi, Scott Mescudi, his car was damaged by fire. Cassie Ventura talked about that in her civil suit that she filed in November of 2023. Of course, that suit was settled within 1 day for $20 million. She testified to that when she was on the stand. So Scott Mescudi will testify tomorrow at the trial, and he will testify to this, that his car was damaged by fire in 2012. So they will show The government will say this is part of the RICO charge, part of the racketeering charge, that he was running an enterprise and he carried out this threat and he had somebody set Kid Cudi's car on fire. And this was part of that.
So it's all directed at saying that Sean Combs was using violence and firearms and coercion to protect his empire, his enterprise.
To protect his enterprise, to carry out threats. You even heard testimony from Cassie Ventura's mother, and you saw the email there too, the threats about the sex tape. Regina Ventura testified yesterday, Trace, that she was instructed by Sean Combs's bookkeeper to wire $20,000. This was a woman who did not have a lot of means. She and her husband took out a home equity loan. She wired that $20,000 to Sean Combs, according to her testimony. Then days later, the money came back with no communication. So maybe there were some misgivings about that demand, but that's an extortion. If the jury determines that that was extortion, that's also a key part of that RICO charge.
Indeed. Anjanette Levy, thank you. Great analysis as always. We appreciate it.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.